Today on the channel, all the Black Series stuff from Star Wars Celebration. Hit it! Well, hello there, gang. I'm Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx, and whether this is your first or 100th time on the channel, Toypixx is all about helping you and helping me get better at our action figure photography. That means I'll talk about action figures, I'll talk about photography, I'll talk about why I do and don't collect certain lines, what's cool about different figures, what's going on in the industry, as well as talking about some photography tips and tricks I picked up along the way, Photoshop tips and tricks I've also picked up along the way. So if that kind of stuff sounds cool to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. No pressure, but I'm gonna stand here and make everybody else wait. Okay, I'm done making everybody else wait. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that Black Series isn't really my thing. I got to a point where it felt like the team really wasn't putting out a lot of stuff that I wanted, a lot of repaint stuff, a lot of stuff that just seemed a little off. But the more you think about it, the more you figure Disney has really tight control over this, and I'd be willing to bet that Lucasfilm has some say in what gets released. Then Hasbro as a company needs to get a lot of use out of these molds, so then you start thinking, okay, I know the designers get a lot of crap, but I'm not sure we can blame the designers. I'm thinking the designers probably want the same kind of stuff we do, but corporations, they tend to make mistakes when it comes to fan bases, and they always want to push, I guess, the current entertainment, which is the one thing on the Hasbro Black Series team that actually drives me crazy, is that they keep saying things like current entertainment instead of being like, oh yeah, this is a figure from the new Obi-Wan show, it's really cool. It's current entertainment, and it sounds dumb. But anywho, I digress. Let's get into what was revealed at Star Wars Celebration, because believe it or not, I think some of this Black Series stuff was pretty cool. Right. Okay, let's get this out of the way first. Number one, there's no hate here. I don't hate that they're doing this. I would have preferred something like an N1 Starfighter, or maybe a Millennium Falcon cockpit, most anything from the original trilogy that didn't include cardboard as a stretch goal. But I am a little confused by the fact that they call these things Black Series items. Now, I know Black Series has been doing roleplay for a while, but Black Series to me are 12-inch figures and vehicles. And I know it's kind of semantics, but I'm also somebody who does branding. So it just doesn't make sense to me that this falls under the Black Series label. I, again, feel bad for the design team. I hope that they're getting a lot of love for a lot of what they're doing right now, because I think the suits are making a lot of mistakes when it comes to the fandom. Again, I don't think it's the design team. I think it's the suits. And because of that, this is the HasLab that we're getting. Now, on to the next thing. Next up, we have the Artillery Stormtrooper helmet. And I gotta say, I think it looks incredible. I think the design team does a great job when it comes to these items. They're just not for me. And again, I just feel like they shouldn't be Black Series items. But I digress. If you're a fan of this, go for it. Because again, I think it does look really cool. And anybody who's into cosplaying is going to dig this kind of thing immensely. Next up, a new archive wave was announced. Now, I understand the business, the reasoning behind these. They got to keep these guys on the shelves, and they have made improvements to all of them. So I'm not upset about it, especially when I'm not really invested in the line. Plus, I think a figure like Grand Moff Tarkin, he needs more love. He was a main villain in that original trilogy. In Star Wars, it could almost be argued that he was more of the villain than Darth Vader was himself. So I love that they're re-releasing Tarkin, and I'm tempted. I am actually tempted to pick him up just because I know no one else is ever going to make a Grand Moff Tarkin. So I'm pretty geeked about this figure. Han, he kind of has that, it doesn't help, they put him in the hey, it's me pose, but his face looks like Harrison Ford thinking to himself, oh man, do I have to do another talk show? I really don't want to do another talk show. I have to do another talk show, don't I? So it just kind of, it was a little bit of a dichotomy going on there with the pose. I thought it was kind of funny. And then there's Leia in her bouche, whatever disguise. I think the face is a little long. My gut is that's the original sculpt. I think the paint was okay. But when the original sculpt isn't quite right, then no amount of paint's really going to fix it. And then you got Chewie. It's another Chewie. And let's be honest, what kid doesn't love a Chewie? And to be frank, as much as collectors dig lines like Black Series, in theory, they are still made for kids. So hey, it's good to keep these out there. And truly, they all look better than the previous versions. Next up from the Gaming Greats line is the Riot Scout Trooper. Now, I've never really gotten into Star Wars video games. I loves me some Star Wars. I've just never really played the games, except the ones based on the original trilogy way back when with, like, the Super Nintendo. I don't even know anymore. It's been that long since I've been into games. But I will say one thing I do dig about Black Series are the troopers, are the army builders, because frankly, I would rather be spending 25 to 30 bucks on troop builders than say 60 or 70 on troop builders from foreign companies. So this thing, while looks cool, I really do think it looks really good. I have no real knowledge of it. And because anyone with a budget has rules they have to live by, one of my rules is I'm only getting figures that are based on live action. And I love the Clone Wars, so don't hate. I love the Clone Wars series, but I'm just getting stuff based on live action, so this guy's a non-starter, which, by the way, is what keeps me alive and my wallet from stabbing me. And now we're getting into figures that deal a little more with the current entertainment. What's that show called that this guy's on? I can't remember. Jim Bob, you got one? You got nothing? No? Is it no, is it Book of... What's the character's name with the armor? What are those? Anywho, we're talking first about Greef Karga, because he's from The Mandalorian and I don't want to sit here and keep making current entertainment jokes. I think this Greef Karga looks a lot better than the first one, and I know that's not the fault of the designers. The designers just did what they worked with, and the first Greef Karga outfit was pretty dulled down. I mean, desert planet, all that good stuff. So it just didn't pop off the shelves so much, as the kids like to say. And speaking of the kids, I think that the first Greef Karga, it stuck around here for a while, and I think the second one, because it's got a few more colors, I think it'll do a little better. And I think the likeness to Carl Weathers isn't spot on, but I don't think it's that bad. And I think if you're someone who's really into Black Series, who picks up a lot of these figures, you're going to be able to use this guy for some pretty killer photos. It looks good enough, and it looks like the colors are in all the right places. It doesn't look like we're shiny where we shouldn't be shiny, except possibly with the face printing, or we're dull where we shouldn't be dull. It looks like the finishes on the paints are going to match up nicely. So hopefully that's the case, and hopefully you guys are going to take some killer pictures of the great Mr. Karga. Now, one that everyone seems super excited about is Ayla Sakura. Now, I look at this figure and I think, man oh man, if I were to collect Black Series, this one would definitely make it to my collection. Although, her face, like, I keep looking at her face and I don't know what to call the expression. It looks like kind of a combination between surprised and ambivalent. And I don't know what that does. But she looks like she's going to be fairly well articulated. It looks like you're going to be able to get her in some pretty sweet Jedi poses. And she's another figure that when she comes out, I cannot wait to see what all of you do when it comes to your toy photos. Because, hey, Ayla Sakura, folks. This is a big deal. Next up, we have Maul from Season 7 of Clone Wars. And I really love Clone Wars, and I especially loved Season 7. I thought it was phenomenal. And this Darth Maul is definitely based on that Season 7 Maul. Is he Darth Maul? Is he Maul? I think he's Maul at this point. I think I should actually read once in a while before doing these. But I think the sculpt work, I think everything on this figure looks incredible. I think the designers nailed it. And it's another figure that when you guys take pictures of, I'm going to just sit there and look from afar through my Instagram feed and think, wow, that's really sweet. I might even regret passing up on this one, but we'll see. Maybe I won't. Maybe Black Series has done a lot. I have to say the design team has done a lot to try and convince people, hey guys, I know the last couple of years kind of stunk, but hey, come on back. Come on home. Come to us. Come to the light side. Yeah. Although I don't know that I could come into the light side because of Maul. That seems wrong. And now, just after Maul, we're moving on to Kenobi! The show, with the fourth sister. And I think they knocked this out of the park too. I have to say, I'm really liking what the design team's doing. And of course, you've heard me talk about how putting figures that are dressed mainly in black under the lights just look cool. When you take a picture of these kinds of things, they almost can't help but look cool. And you can just stand them there. They almost don't even have to move. And when you add red, there's something about a black and red combo that's really cool. So again, I can't wait to see what people do with this figure. Just not for me, not yet. I feel like Hasbro, the people behind the scenes, not the designers so much, but the people making the business decisions, have to do a little more with this line before they can earn me back as a customer. But I have to say, what the design team's doing, they're doing a great job. Next up was the fifth brother reveal, and I gotta say, with that spooky face and crazy hat, he's pretty cool. Plus, again, another character that's dressed all in black. Just a sweet look to this guy. I think that the people who did the outfitting for him on Kenobi did a great job. And I think the design team pretty much brought it home. I can't say enough about what the design team's doing. And I think part of that is because when you see the comments on Hasbro Pulse live streams or anything like that, people are so negative. You just don't want to even look at the chat. And it's almost like, how can the design team not take it personally when the design team is working within the confines that they're given? But even within the confines they're giving, several of these figures, they're crushing it. Therefore, I cannot blame anything on the design team. Anything at all. I think they're doing a great job, and this figure is just more proof of that. Grand Inquisitor, figure dressed in black, red cape, gonna look awesome under the lights, broken record. But what I really wanted to say here is how much I dig the pose the photographer put him in. It's just this nice little subtle pose where the Grand Inquisitor's facing off against somebody, not a care in the world. He knows he's got this. Doesn't even matter. He's basically going to do this real quick, and then he's going to go home, maybe eat some blueberries. I don't know. Or maybe some raspberries, something to go with his crazy cape, so if he drops them, it doesn't really look like he stained it. I'm not sure. And we know he's not going to stain it with blood, because the lightsaber will cauterize. Anywho, I'm yammering. Cool looking figure. I dig it. Next! And finally, we're on to a set that I might have to break almost every rule in the book for, and that is the Ralph McQuarrie designed Obi-Wan and Darth Vader 2-pack. First thing that came to mind when I saw this, when you look at this Vader, is that you're going to get a Rebels repaint. A lot of the Rebels cartoon, a lot of those designs were based on old McQuarrie art, and this Darth Vader looks exactly like, if you'll go back and watch those episodes, that Rebels Darth Vader. They just need to add a little different paint, and boom, you got him. And I think he just looks sweet, and I'm a nerd for this art stuff. One thing I do want to bring up, when you look at Obi-Wan, I'm fairly confident the basis of this, remember this was probably designed in maybe 75, 76, and that's about when Brando was big. I'm pretty sure if you look at this picture, what you're going to see is Marlon Brando, a little older, had he not let himself go. Is it just me? It can't be just me. It's got to be that you guys see that too. Let me know in the comments if you see Brando in this head sculpt. Whew! That was a lot of Star Wars to celebrate. So that was a whole lot of celebrating from Star Wars Celebration 2022. Let me know what you thought of the Black Series reveals by leaving a comment below. More specifically, are you going to pick up that McQuarrie set? Are you at all excited about that? Because really, I really do nerd out for stuff like that, which is kind of crazy. As always, I'm going to leave some product links in the description below. I'm going to leave the links primarily for Black Series Troopers that I'm a big fan of. If I can find pre-orders of any of these, I'll put those up, but I'm not sure they're up yet. I'm also going to put up what's become a daily thing now, the surprise ridiculous thingy Amazon link. I'm just going to get online, I'm going to find something silly, and post it there so you can click on the link and just get a laugh about whatever it is. And if you click on any of those affiliate links and you're on Amazon already and need something, go ahead and go shopping. That's the best way to help out the channel right now. Besides, of course, just watching and subscribing, and hey, I appreciate all of it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all you do for the channel. And hey, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.